What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another video here at the TGRDC show. Be sure to hit the like button and hit subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content. Guys, I'm going to try to be as active as I can during the offseason. Obviously, at the end of the Cowboys season, there's a little bit of a break and there's not much noise probably until we get to the draft. I do know that in May, I will be jumping back on doing another season prediction video when the full schedule releases. But as of right now, as you know, the season's a little bit slower, but I'm here to talk to you today about my opinion about the coaching staff, because there's no easy way of getting around it. The Dallas Cowboys, I feel, there's going to be a lot of changes coming to the organization, not just with players, but with coaching staff. And it's going to get very interesting. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Mike McCarthy. Where are we with Mike McCarthy? Well, I'll tell you my opinions here, and you may not like it. First off, I'll be blunt about it. I think if I would have it my way, if I was sitting in the owner's booth, if I had owned the Dallas Cowboys, and if I'm the GM of the Dallas Cowboys, and if I'm in the boots, the seat of Jerry Jones, then I'm keeping Mike McCarthy. I know a lot of people are frustrated, as they should be. I'm frustrated with the year that we had with penalties and the lack of discipline. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of blame to go around, and it starts with Mike McCarthy because he's the leader of this men. But I'll say this, and let me play a little devil's advocate, and this is kind of my thinking if I'm in those shoes of Jerry Jones. This is only his second year. Logistically, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense switching up your head coach his second year into this. I think when you look at the context of the Dallas Cowboys in the last 26 years, I think that's what gets everyone riled up to have a change at the head coaching position. But you have to look at the Mike McCarthy era, and the fact is we're only 2 years into it. I look at that first year, you really couldn't fairly judge his full potential as a coach because he didn't have his starting quarterback. COVID was not necessarily handled as it was this year by the NFL. No training camps, no mini camps, so on and so forth. And because of that first year, you look at the job he did with the offensive line, trying to get the best unit out there to protect Andy Dalton at the time. Really, what you look at is they have a 6-10 record, and they're going into their final week with the possibility of earning a playoff spot by potentially claiming that NFC East, because with the division that we were in that first year, it just happened to be that way. To me, if I would put a letter grade to it, I'm thinking C+, because we've seen a lot of years where Jason Garrett loses his starting quarterback and it leads to a 4-12 season. With Mike McCarthy, we're towards the end of the year, and in that first year he was head coach, there were a lot of wins that we had when there really was nothing to win. And so with that being said, this year, yes, the penalties. Yes, the lack of discipline. Also, I would like to add, I don't like how he points the finger at the refs so much. I think that really reflects on our players, and we've seen that, with CeeDee Lamb, especially Dak Prescott in his closing comments after the game, after the wildcard game against the 49ers. I don't like that. But second year, we're back in the playoffs. I actually don't remember, when Jason Garrett actually, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head because I'm making this video, but I don't know exactly when Jason Garrett made the playoffs when he became the head coach. I think it actually took 4 or 5 years to actually, when he got that full coaching job, because there was those 8-8 seasons after 3 straight seasons, and then some. And so Mike McCarthy in his second year led this team back into the playoffs with a 12-5 record with the NFC East champion division champs on top of it. So Mike McCarthy, I think he stays, and I think he should stay. But now let's talk about what I believe might be the best case scenario, but also the worst case scenario if you're the Dallas Cowboys organization or if you're a fan. Let's start with the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, which would just really test my fanhood. It would really test my fanhood is if we get rid of Mike McCarthy. And if Jerry Jones, Dan Quinn is kind of he's not as important in this scenario, in this worst case scenario, but obviously if we lose him. But more importantly, if Jerry Jones specifically lets go of Mike McCarthy to have Kellen Moore be pushed up into that head coaching position. I cannot fathom that, and I could not stand that, because Kellen Moore is Jason Garrett 2.0. What you see from Kellen Moore is what we're so frustrated with Jason Garrett when he was calling the offense and Scott Linehan when he was so predictable. If Kellen Moore finds his way into a head coaching position for the Dallas Cowboys, I kid you not, my fanhood is tested. Of course, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan for life, but that is testing me, because we already been through the 10 years of mediocrity with Jason Garrett. That's worst case scenario. I'm going to stop talking about it because it just makes me sick thinking about it, because I could not think of... Anyways, best case scenario. What if you play the cards and you do have to get rid of Mike McCarthy? If you want to shake things up. I love the way Dan Quinn has these guys fighting for him. You look at these press conferences, these young guys love playing for Dan Quinn. And the results are obvious. His defense made a 180 spin. And so if you do let go of Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn takes that head coaching position, because at this moment, Dan Quinn is more valuable to the Dallas Cowboys than Kellen Moore is. The defense is more valuable to the Dallas Cowboys than the offense. And so Dan Quinn moves into that head coaching position. Defensive coordinator, that's up. That's up for grabs. You probably could hire within. And that offensive coordinator, you'll probably fill him because Kellen Moore is going to go somewhere else. But that's all I have to say about the coaching position. I think it's going to be a really interesting offseason, starting off with the coaching. The coaching staff's going to look really interesting, and how Jerry Jones sets that up really will establish the tone for the Dallas Cowboys in the offseason and in the upcoming year. But go ahead and comment down below. What do you think? What's the best case scenario you think for the Dallas Cowboys and their coaching staff going into the offseason? And what's your worst case scenario? Be sure to hit like and subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content. Follow me on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And I will see you guys next video. Go Cowboys!